Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to answer if Chegg Stock is a buy using my simplified 6-step framework for analysis. So let's get right into it. The first step in my framework considers customer value. And Chegg is an education technology company that primarily serves college students internationally around the world, in the US and other parts of the world, except for China. And students get access to 84 million pieces of material. These are step-by-step solutions to problems at less than $20 per month. Additionally, students can ask 20 questions every month that will be answered by Chegg's subject matter experts in a couple of hours. Each question you ask will get answered within a couple of hours on average. So if you're on the website and you're looking for some help on a topic, Chegg doesn't have anything on that topic, you can ask that question and one of Chegg's subject matter experts will solve it and put it up for you to learn from. And that material also now becomes available for all of other Chegg subscribers to also use and learn from. So excellent customer value here. The next step in my framework is unit economics, and for Chegg, it has customers from higher income countries and parts of the world, and then it hires its subject matter experts from lower cost regions, and so it has a nice arbitrage opportunity there. It gets those premium payments and then pays relatively low cost to get this material solved, to get this content on the website, and then that content that is created is long lasting. Chegg pays to create that content once, and it can serve students for decades. As you might imagine, the college curriculum does not change all that much over the years. Solving derivatives in calculus has been the same for centuries. And so once Chegg has that material on the platform, it can serve students over and over and over and over again, right? This year is going to have a certain group of students taking calculus. Next year we'll have another group of students. The following year we'll have another group of students, and all of those could potentially be subscribers to Chegg and benefit from that material that Chegg paid for maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And that material can just keep providing benefits to Chegg over the long term. The next step in my framework considers the total addressable market, and for Chegg, this consists of the roughly 100 million college students in the world today, and this is excluding China. Chegg doesn't serve China. Chegg is not in the Chinese market. And so that's Chegg's total addressable market. Now this will fluctuate a little bit. Right after the onset of the pandemic, enrollment decreased by a couple of million, 2 or 3 million, and it's now rebounding back up as students are coming back to universities and they're taking more classes, and so Chegg's total addressable market is on the rebound after it decreased a little bit right after the onset of the pandemic. The next step in my framework considers competition, and for Chegg, the primary competition I would say is that there is excellent free help available on YouTube. So why would you pay for Chegg if you could go on YouTube and find a lot of the things that you're looking for free? And so that's a major competitive headwind for Chegg right there. The next competitive force I list here is other companies that are similar to Chegg, like Quizlet and Course Hero. They offer help with passing college classes, but their material is not as robust or as plentiful, and they're typically at higher prices than Chegg with less favorable payment terms. What do I mean by that? So with Chegg, you can get the month-by-month option. With some of its competitors, you can't choose a monthly option. You have to take a 3-month or 6-month or annual option, and so that decreases the flexibility for students. As you might imagine, if you're not taking any classes in the summer, you would like to pause your subscription or cancel your subscription for the summer months and then restart in the fall semester. But if you're with one of its competitors, they may not give you that option. So overall, Chegg offers more favorable pricing terms to customers. The next step in my framework, and arguably the most important, is valuation. And looking at Chegg, we can measure it by the price to free cash flow. And looking back, going all the way to 2018, at a price to free cash flow of 18.19, Chegg is almost as cheap as it's ever been going back all those years. And so as an investor, you have rarely had an opportunity to buy Chegg stock at this price point. So it's cheaper than ever. And the final step in my framework considers risks, and the primary risk for Chegg is that the material on its platform can be considered cheating by some educational institutions. What I mean by that is Chegg has step-by-step solutions to questions that students will ask. And so if that same question, if a professor gives a homework assignment that has that question that Chegg might have on its platform, a student can go to Chegg and just get the answer from Chegg and put it in the assignment. And so that gets into the murky territory where it can be considered cheating. And if that is the case, right, as of now, universities they could restrict the use of Chegg's website on campus. They could restrict the website on the computers on campus, but they can't really restrict students from using Chegg if they're using the website from home, from their home computer. So this is a kind of difficult risk to quantify here, but it is notable because it's a meaningful risk here. If students are using Chegg to cheat on their homework assignments, then how are universities going to respond to this, and what could the impact be to Chegg's business? So it's something that investors should keep an eye out for. The other risk I note here is that campus tutoring, professor office hours, and other school provided options are expanding, especially since the government in the US had a robust stimulus package a couple of years ago that gave universities billions in funding, and so universities have been able to bring back some of these programs that were paused during the pandemic. And so now campuses have tutoring again, professors have office hours again, and other school provided options are expanding. And so if you can get the help on campus, then you are less likely to go looking for help online through Chegg or any of its competitors. And so that's another risk that's coming up right now. So now that I've considered every step in my framework and brought it all together, let's look at what grades I assign Chegg on each of these steps in the framework. So for customer value, I gave Chegg an A+. Over 80 million pieces of content at less than $20 per month that helps students get unstuck. Because if you've ever been a college student, the most frustrating thing is when you're studying and you get stuck and you email your professor and he's taking hours to respond back, and you're just sitting there stuck with this problem that you can't get through because you need to get through that one to solve any of the other problems, but you're stuck on this one. And so Chegg really helps college students get through their learning, get through their studying, and at a price of less than $20 per month, it's a bargain there. So A+ for customer value. Unit economics, I also gave Chegg an A+ here. Paying relatively low prices to produce that content, and that content gets to be used over and over and over again for several years and decades, and it creates an excellent economies of scale as subscribers grow. So excellent unit economics for Chegg. I give it an A+. Total addressable market is where I gave it a B. It's not an incredibly large total addressable market with 100 million college students worldwide, but it's also not small. So it's between, it's a medium-sized market, and so I gave Chegg a B here. Competition, I also gave Chegg a B. On the one hand, it's got, competition with YouTube where students can get access to this material for free. But on the other hand, it's not as, the material on YouTube is not aggregated in as, organized fashion as it is on Chegg, and also on YouTube, students cannot get specific targeted answers to questions that they are looking for, right? I mentioned earlier that they get to ask 20 questions per month as part of their subscription that is specifically tailored to the thing they're looking for. They might go on YouTube and not find that material that they're looking for, and there is no recourse if they don't find it on YouTube. It's not like they can ask someone on YouTube to create it, right? Whereas with Chegg, they can ask someone and be relatively assured that that content is going to be created. Next, I looked at risks, and I gave Chegg a B+ here with risks. The biggest risk there was that it could be determined an option that helps students cheat on their courses. Although it's difficult to quantify the impacts on revenues and profits that would have, and how that could happen, where the connection would be, other than universities just banning the use of Chegg's website on campus. I don't see how they could ban students from using it away from campus. And then finally, I looked at valuation, and I gave Chegg an A here. The cheapest price to free cash flow you were able to buy Chegg at, going back all the way before 2018. The only reason they don't get an A+ because they haven't been consistently profitable on the bottom line in terms of net profits, net earnings, and so I wasn't able to use the price to earnings ratio, and for that reason they didn't get an A+, but they still get an A for being as inexpensive as it's ever been. Okay, so now that I've looked at all steps of the framework and given Chegg a grade on each of those steps, it's time to answer the question if Chegg's stock is a buy. Yes, it is. Chegg stock is a buy. The inexpensive valuation combined with the absolutely excellent customer value and unit economics sways me in favor of recommending Chegg stock to be a buy. All right, so thank you for tuning in to this installment of Is This Stock a Buy? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know if there's any stocks you want me to cover that I haven't already covered on my channel. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for all investors of all skill sets and risk levels. So I'm proud to partner with the Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from their popular product, Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market by more than 3 times. Go to fool.com/Parkev to get your 10 stock picks now.